Poland is currently undergoing a military transformation that is turning it into one of the most powerful forces in Europe. By 2026, the theoretical plans of the past have become a physical reality, with billions of dollars being poured into advanced technology to defend the nation's borders. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into the massive projects defining this era. We will look at the history, the staggering costs, and exactly what this hardware means for the future of European security. To understand these projects, we first have to look at the money. In 2026, Poland's defense budget has hit a record of nearly 200 billion zloty. This represents approximately 5% of the country's gross domestic product, which is the highest spending ratio of any nation in NATO, even surpassing the United States. This massive spending is fueled by a new strategy called deterrence by denial. The goal is to make the Polish military so strong and technologically advanced that any potential adversary would find an attack too costly to even consider. The Polish government has navigated complex European budget rules to keep this modernization fully funded through the Homeland Defense Act. While this has increased public debt, the priority remains the safety of NATO's eastern flank. This funding is not just for buying equipment, it is for building an entire domestic defense industry so that Poland can build and maintain its own weapons. The PPZR Piorun, which means thunderbolt in Polish, is perhaps the most famous piece of hardware in Poland's modern arsenal. Originally developed by the company Miecznik as a deep modernization of the older Grom system, it was designed specifically to hunt down low-flying aircraft, helicopters, and unmanned aerial vehicles. By 2026, it has become a global sensation because of its high effectiveness in actual combat scenarios. The Piorun provides a lethal capability for the Polish military, able to strike targets at altitudes ranging from just 10 meters up to 4 kilometers, with an effective range of 6.5 kilometers. What sets it apart from many other systems is its incredibly sensitive seeker, which uses sensors working in two different infrared radiations to analyze heat sources. This allows the missile to distinguish between a real engine and diversions like flares, and it is even capable of targeting cruise missiles. Additionally, it features a unique proximity fuse, which allows the 1.82 kilogram warhead to detonate when it passes near a target, making it especially effective at small objects like drones. In the hands of defenders, the Piorun has successfully taken down some of the most advanced military hardware in the world, including Su-34 fighter jets, K-52 attack helicopters, and even Kh-101 cruise missiles. This combat record has triggered a wave of export success, with the United States, Norway, Sweden, and Estonia all signing contracts to purchase the system. By 2026, Miecznik has reached a massive production scale, reportedly producing more missiles than the United States produces Stingers and France produces Mistrals combined. In Poland, the Piorun is more than just a shoulder-launched weapon for infantry. It is integrated into larger defense networks, serving as the primary effector for the Poprad self-propelled system and the Palika Plus batteries. This integration allows the Piorun to use radar data to automatically track targets, providing a last-ditch shield for critical infrastructure. While the current model remains a world leader, Polish engineers are already looking toward the future with Project Gizmot, a heavier and more capable next-generation successor often referred to as Piorun 2. The largest and most complex project in the history of the Polish Navy is Project Miecznik, which translates to swordfish. For years, the Polish surface fleet relied on aging American frigates, but 2026 marks a historic turning point. In August 2026, the first of 3 new multi-role frigates, the ORP Wisher, is scheduled to be launched. These ships are based on the British Arrowhead 140 design, but they have been heavily customized for Polish needs. Measuring over 140 meters in length, these frigates are designed to protect shipping lanes and energy infrastructure in the Baltic Sea. The program's cost reflects its ambition. While it started with a lower estimate, the decision to fully arm all 3 vessels from the start pushed the total contract value to over 15 billion PLN. The technology on these ships is world-class. They feature the Mk-41 vertical launch system, which allows them to fire a wide variety of missiles for air defense and theater protection. By 2026, the second ship, ORP Buza, is already undergoing hull integration, showing that Polish shipyards have reached a new level of industrial capacity. On land, the core of the mechanized infantry is being reborn through the Borsuk, or Badger, infantry fighting vehicle. For decades, Poland used the obsolete Soviet-era BWP-1, but the Borsuk is a 21st century replacement designed specifically for the Polish landscape. Because Poland has many rivers and lakes, the Borsuk was built to be fully amphibious. It can drive straight into the water and swim at speeds of 8 kilometers per hour using water jets. By 2026, the Borsuk production line at Huta Stalowa Wola is ramping up into its mass production phase. The initial contract for 111 vehicles is valued at roughly 6.57 billion PLN. The vehicle is armed with a ZSSW-30 unmanned turret, which features a 30mm autocannon and Spike LR anti-tank missiles. This turret is special because it is completely remote-controlled, keeping the crew safe inside the armored hull. The military eventually plans to acquire up to 1,400 of these vehicles in various specialized versions. While the Borsuk is agile and amphibious, the Polish army realized it also needed something much heavier to fight alongside its Abrams tanks. This led to Project Rattle, also known as the Heavy Infantry Fighting Vehicle, or CBWP. By the end of 2026, the first prototype of the Rattle is expected to be ready for mobility trials. The Rattle weighs about 42 tons, which is significantly more than the 28-ton Borsuk. This extra weight goes toward much thicker armor that can survive heavy fire on the modern battlefield. Even though it is a different class of vehicle, it uses the same ZSSW-30 turret as the Borsuk to make training and repairs much easier for the troops. The Rattle is designed to be the heavy fist of the army, able to withstand 30mm cannon fire from the front. Poland is currently building one of the most advanced air defense networks in the world. This is known as the NATO program, a short-range air defense system designed to destroy planes, cruise missiles, and drones. To get protection as fast as possible, Poland first created Mała NATO, a small interim solution in 2022. By 2026, the program is moving into the full NATO standard. This involves a massive £4 billion deal with the UK to provide over 1,000 CAM-ER missiles. These missiles have a range of over 45 kilometers and can intercept high-speed targets in all weather conditions. A critical part of the NATO in 2026 is technology transfer. The Polish defense industry is being taught how to build these missiles and launchers locally. The entire system is tied together by the American Integrated Battle Command System, which acts as a digital brain to coordinate different radars and launchers into one seamless shield. For reconnaissance, Poland is introducing Project Kles, which translates to TIC. This is a light 4x4 armored vehicle designed to replace the old Soviet BRDM-2. The Kles is the eyes and ears of the land forces. A contract for the first 28 vehicles was signed in 2024 for about 800 million PLN, and these units are being delivered to the army throughout 2026. The Kles is built for survival and stealth. It features a laser radiation warning system to tell the crew if they have been spotted by an enemy, and it carries an advanced sensor suite for detecting targets from a distance. It is fast, reaching speeds of 100 kilometers per hour, and can be fitted with a remote-controlled weapon module for self-defense. Finally, we have Project SAN, which is Poland's response to the rise of drone warfare seen in recent conflicts. Project SAN is a dedicated anti-drone network designed to provide a layered defense against suicide drones and tactical UAVs. In 2026, the Polish military is deploying the first batteries of the system. The logic behind Project SAN is simple. It is too expensive to fire a $1 million air defense missile at a cheap commercial drone. Project SAN provides a cost-effective way to protect critical infrastructure and troops from swarms of low-cost aerial threats. By 2027, Poland plans to have over a dozen of these batteries, forming a protective anti-drone shield across the country. As we look at the state of the Polish military in 2026, it is clear that the country has moved from planning to massive execution. From the deep waters of the Baltic with the Miecznik frigates to the anti-drone shield of Project SAN, every branch of the service is being modernized. The scale of the 200 billion zloty budget and the focus on sovereign production means that Poland is not just buying, but rather building a modern army. This transformation is defining the new security architecture of Europe, ensuring that Poland remains a central pillar of NATO defense for decades to come.